Good morning, guys.
Hola, profe.
Hello, Hans. Okay, let's wait like one more minute. Yeah. Let me see if we are complete, okay? Acosta.
Aquí, profe.
Okay, Sebas. Acosta Alanza.
Presente, profe.
Barreiro.
Presente, Sol.
Darquea. Yeah.
Presente, Sol.
Mancheno. Martínez.
Presente, profe.
Mera.
Presente, profe.
Molina Amelia.
Presente, Sol.
Molina Doménica.
Presente, Sol.
Palma.
Presente, profe, presente.
Faltán.
Presente, profe.
Pérez.
Presente.
Reascos.
Presente, Sol.
Okay. And Salgado.
Profe, por si acaso llegué.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you. We are complete. Perfect. Please turn on the cameras. Only 4 of you have your cameras on. So turn on your cameras, all of you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Hans, Tomas. Okay, I wait for you. Kenneth.
Profe, yo tengo baja batería, entonces no sé si vaya a valer. Es que si la desconecto, el Zoom no me deja pues prender la cámara. Como tengo la baja batería.
Okay, just be in class, and when I answer your questions, when I ask you questions, you answer me, okay? Please listen to the class. Domenica Molina, what's going on? Hans Mera. And Sebas. Sebas, are you there?
Sí, profe. Espérame un segundito, ya le prendo la cámara.
1 minute. Okay, 1. Yeah. Okay, guys. It's so good to see your faces again. It's so good that you have your cameras on. So good. Now, how is your homework going? Did you finish, or how is it?
Sol, yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Puede explicarme más o menos cómo es la introducción a hacer? Porque ya tengo hecho, pero no estoy segura, por eso aún
Yeah.
no le he mandado y quería
Okay.
preguntarle esta clase para ya mandar.
Yeah, guys. I told you to write an introduction. You have to relate the imperialism that was our main subject, that our main topic at during the fifth and a little bit part of sixth block, and we're going to mix imperialism with the COVID crisis that we are going on. So you have to relate. Try to find a common point. Why imperialism? Why COVID-19? We have to find a way to relate it. So when you relate them, you write an introduction. Introduction is when you present something. When you are telling, okay, for example, expect that in this project, I am going to do this, and at the end, I am going to see the results. Something like that. You're going to present your project. And I told you it would be perfect if you can write a page, okay? Um, but before you attach this introduction to your PowerPoint presentation, that is your logbook, is your project, you have to send to me by the virtual class so I can check and I can tell you, okay, you're going to eliminate this, you're going to add this, it is perfect, or you have to repeat. Okay, that's why I told you, please upload a Word document only with the introduction, and I check and I tell you, okay, it's perfect, you can put it on your logbook. Your introduction is your presentation, okay? Your presentation. You can use, for example, a really catchy phrase at the beginning in the first paragraph, and you can start the introduction um, presenting your project, okay? The way you want, relating, obviously, the COVID-19 with imperialism, okay? Camila, is it a little bit clear right now? Excellent.
Yes, Sol.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, thank you so much. Now, I want you one thing from you. I want one thing from you. Please don't chat during the class because you have to pay attention. Today, we're going to start a new topic. Um, we are going to continue talking about states, governments, imperialism, isolation, and different ways of government. That's why you have to pay attention. I tried to summarize so much this topic for you to understand it very easy. So I am going to start. If you don't understand, for example, what I explained, please tell me or raise your hand because I am going to share a presentation. Now, raise your hand because I cannot see everybody. Or say, teacher, please, I don't understand. Can you repeat it? No problem. Okay. So before we start, any other question about the introduction or not? No? Perfect.
Where, when, or where are you gonna send us the message if, for we to put to know if we have to improve it or change it or repeat it?
Okay, during this week, Hans. Because
By Gmail, by WhatsApp.
no, I am going to comment in the platform. Check it.
Okay.
Yeah? Hans, you're sleepy today. Okay, so let's go, guys.
Yes.
Okay, let's go. I am going to share the presentation. Our topic is the modernization of Japan. Japan in the period. Japan had two periods, two main periods. I can tell you, like, very important right now in the subject we are learning. Okay, so Japan changed from an isolated nation to a modern nation. So we are going to see this change, okay? So let's go. I am going to share my screen. Tell me if you can see the presentation, please. Don't turn off your cameras. Okay, tell me if you see, do you see the presentation?
Yes, Sol.
Excellent. So
Yes,
let's
teacher.
go. Let's go, guys. So we're going to see the modernization of Japan. So here we have a picture about the traditional Japan. Guys, stop writing on the presentation. Matthias, were you? Yeah, thank you. So we have this traditional side, this antique side, uh, and it is like it refers to the isolated. I chose this picture to have a contrast between the traditional to the modern. So here we have the traditional part, and I can imagine Japan in the isolated period like this, very peaceful, different. But modernization of Japan, the other side, we have like an industrialized nation. And here we have different things that we are going to learn, like roads, like highways, like as you can see here, buildings with it means industry, it means wealth. Now, with this transition, Japan changed a lot. Here we have also another picture. Japan is so beautiful. The traditional and the modern part, it's so beautiful. But we are going to see the change. Okay, let's go back to 17th century. And during the 17th century, we have an isolated nation. It means that Japan had no contact with other countries. It was alone in this part of the planet, in this part of the world. Now, what happened? Even though they were isolated, Japan Japan wanted to have or had a strategical relations with China because of the trade and with the Dutch merchants from Indonesia. So they they have like this wise idea about relations because of trade, and also they had the diplomatic contact with Korea. Now, only with three nations: China, with the Chinese, with the Dutch, and with the Koreans. Okay, so here we have like an idea. I found these pictures. So here we have Japan, the island, and China. Okay, and both nations were isolated at that time, and they didn't want to be part of the rest of the world. They wanted to stay like that. And here we have the port where they have like the contact with the Chinese and Dutch ships and Dutch merchants. So it was like very limited. They had they were very limited in the field of relations with other countries. Now, in the 19th century, as you can see here, we have the US. In the 19th century, something happened. In 1853, the US Commodore Matthew Perry forced Japan to open to foreign world. How did he do it? Okay, he arrived with super modern ships. He came from US to Japan coast, and in the ships, obviously, they used to have cannons. Cannons are super powerful weapons, and the US ship has cannon, has have cannon. So imagine that Japanese people became scared, and the shogun was like a military force that was in charge of the nation, had to say, okay, we are going to we're going to receive you because of this, because they were scared about the weapons US ships brought to Japan. So Basically, US forced Japan to open their doors, to open the doors. Now, in 1854, they signed the Treaty of Kanagawa. So Japan officially opened two ports to give supplies to the US ships. But what happened when you open the doors, even if it's only for one nation? You are opening the door to other nations. Okay, so you're giving the way to establish relations with different other countries, not only with the US, but also with other countries. Let's go. Here we have like two pictures. I can imagine something like that. Americans arriving to Japan and the Shogun period, the Shogun leader receiving them. Yeah, receiving them. They had to, they didn't have an option. And here, yeah, they establish a relation in the United States, opened the doors, basically opened the doors to the war outside Japan. Now, in the 19th century, we also have another other things that were very important, other events that were very important. In 1867, Mutsuhito took control of the government. So another people, he was not from the army. He took the control of the government, and he said, okay, we opened the doors to the US, to the Western world, but we have to control it. So he said, okay, we're going to adapt, we are going to uh, adopt different things from different countries, the things that are good for us. So from the Germans, he took the idea of the central government, centralized government, and the discipline. Two things from German people, German society, government, centralized government, and discipline. From the British, they took the skill for the example, the path of the skillful army, the organization, the features, okay, and of course from the US, the universal public education. This system of education, they say in Japan we need education, universal and public, for free, to children, teenagers, young adults, and adults. And also they followed the industrialization. In Western, they were like advanced in industry. So Japan decided to follow this path about industry. Okay? Any question until now? No? Excellent. Let's go. So here we have Germany flag, British, and the US flags. So you have an idea. When we see flags and see pictures, we have a better idea of who are we are talking about. Let's go. In the 20th century, okay, here we have 20th century, we have a boom in the Japanese economy because they changed from the isolated nation to a modern nation. Now, in 1872, they built its first railroad. It came from Tokyo, the capital, to Yokohama. And by the 1914, there were seven.
Teacher, I
Yes,
have a question. Do we have to learn, or we have to? Yeah, no, do we have to aprender of memory the thing that happens in the years, or are just they are just facts that you're giving us?
they are just
Facts.
um You have to learn. I don't want you to memorize, but you have to learn. Okay.
But I mean, you're not gonna make a question about like what happens in 1872.
I think it's a good idea, by the way.
That's not a good idea. That's a bad idea.
No, it's really good because now I can see if you paid attention. Because it is
And
very easy.
it's not very easy. There are a lot of dates.
A lot. By the way, okay,
Mhm.
I want you, okay, you have like a reference about the dates, yeah? But the thing is that you understand what happened in Japan. So, for example, if I tell you what happened during the 20th century, you can tell me, okay, they started to build the railroad, even though you don't know the date, but you know what happened that period. Japan became
Okay.
modern. um, what else? The industry grew a lot. The industry grew a lot, and so on. You can give me main ideas, but the thing is that you understand what I am teaching you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I am not like the teacher that demands from you a lot of dates, just the important ones. But yeah, I want you to have the main idea. I want you to understand the main points. That's all. Okay? So don't worry, Hans. It's gonna be okay. Yeah. Now, in 1914, as you can see, in 1872 they started to build a railroad, and by that time they could build from Tokyo to Yokohama. But oh, I have to change this with. Okay, from and in 1914 they had 7,000 miles of railroad. You know, highways, roads, railroads, they are so essential for the economy of a country because with good ways of transportation, with good uh, roads, with good highways, with good railroads, you can trade and you can have connection. You can have relation with other people. Okay, so we have this, and by 1913, the coal production grew from 1.5 million tons to 21 million tons. Imagine that. In 1913, the production of coal grew from 1 million to 21 millions. It's incredible. So also a state, I don't know where is my mouse. Okay, so a state supported industries. They wanted an industrialized country now. They had to. The only one that can support an industry or industries in a country is the state. So the state supported countries, supported industries, I mean, especially the one of tea and silk. They produce a lot. That's why Japan is very popular because of the tea, even though we have the tradition to know about the tea from the British culture, but the production is in the East. And here we have different pictures about the production. I'm so sorry. About the production of tea. This is the way they did and they do today. Here we have tea. They are like just leaves. And we have all the process. This is yet in an industrialized way. So this is industry. So any question, guys? Or is it clear?
I mean, I think that it clear. So I just have one question. If U.S. people like will not have the idea to came in first place to Japan, Japan will just like never industrialized, or will be less industrialized than now?
Maybe yes, because they didn't want to be part of the rest of the world, of the modern world. They wanted to be in isolation. So maybe yes. Um, mm, I don't know. One thing that you change in the past change everything in the future. Maybe they wouldn't be a super powerful country as they are today. Maybe we don't know, but the thing is that U.S. forced Japan to um, be part of the modern world. Yeah. Any other question? No, guys.
Uh, does we have another just like type of industrialized and between just like not only tea, like what's the most important uh, production fact in Japan right now?
Yeah, they. Do you remember that they also produce at that time? They also started to produce ships, two
Chips.
ships. Yes. Give me a second. I am low. My battery is low. Give me a second. Oh God. Oh God. Stop. Stop sharing. Give me 1 minute.
Te ves muy guapote hoy, Tommy.
Loco, te intentaba tomar una foto.
Loco, hace frío. Yo no sé qué pasa con la vida. Yo ando morido.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah. So today, the main idea when we're talking about Japan is technology. They reply many ideas from the Americans and they improve them. The same as China. It's the same thing. So
But China just copied them.
they copied and they improved like a lot. They produce different machines according to your needs. In the US, normally they didn't do that. We have to adapt to the offer of the United States. But in China right now, they tell you, okay, what do you need? And I am going to design and I am going to do it for you. So that's the advantage in China. And in Japan, they improved the technology that US used to produce. So they were very intelligent in that field. That's why the first thing that comes to my mind when I am talking about Japan, it's the technology. Okay. Uh, and also, I'm not sure about that, but they say that in Japan the education is really good. I am not telling you that it is the best, but it is really good. Now, uh, this could be like two things. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
I just have one more question.
Yeah.
You say in the presentation that United States just like forced the Japan to open their frontiers and their territory for just them to enter into trade with them. So you say also that just like make that not only U.S. Start trading with them, just like other nations, let's say, just like can
Mhm.
arrive to that ports that they put. So what nations came to trade with them? Because you only say that nations, but I'm not clear about what other nations just like came to there.
Yeah.
China.
Okay. We have Western nations. We don't know exactly the number of nations, but when we are talking about Western nations, we are talking about the most important. Do you remember that it said that from the British they took different things? That's because they started a relation with Britain country. Now we have also Germany. The ones that I told you in the presentation, they are different examples because they were the powerful ones. Okay. In Japan, it started to relate with Western countries in a very intelligent way. They wanted to adopt the main things from the powerful countries. So we have example British, Germany. We have also obviously the United States, and we can search a lot more countries for the next week.
And teacher, in this,
Maybe it's gonna be your homework. Okay.
no, teacher, why are you like that? It was just like China that make that just like earn surplus. I think that that's the name, and that's why it start to increase a lot their economy, so they can industrialize. Does it happen like that, or it was like different?
I didn't get your idea. You're
Like China, for having that improvement in their economy, they start to just like export more than import. Am I right?
mm-hmm.
So does Japan make the same strategy for making their economy grow up, and for that reason they can industrialize, or before the came of U.S. country, just like they have a lot of power?
Okay. Um, I'm trying to process your question. Okay. The thing is that when before the US came to Japan, Japan used to have a relation with Chinese people, with Chinese government. And yes, they used to exchange products, of course, but no more than that. Then, when the US came, they started to produce and they started to send the products to other countries. Now, I think it's not in the same way, but they did it. Um, they started to offer products to the Western countries. Okay, from the arrival of the US Commodore. Any other question? Or we, because we have like 5 more minutes and that's all. So you have to tell me if you have any question. By the way, guys, before I forget, please upload the introductions, the ones that didn't do it yet. Um, until today, you have until 18 hours, I think. Yeah. So don't forget to do that so I can check and I can tell you what you have to change or if it's perfect and you have to attach it to the PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. Any other question? Next class, guys, all of you with your cameras on, please. Okay? Yeah? Yeah, because you don't have any other question, we finish the class. Yeah? I think everything is clear because you're very quiet today. You're doing something behind the screen. I know that. But, um, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, guys, thank you for your attention. See you the next class. Don't forget to send the homework. Bye-bye, guys. Any question, let me know by WhatsApp, okay? Yes, guys. Hello,
Messenger.
Sol. Bye bye.